Alright, now one last thing before we kind of move into ZBrush through the GoZ plugin. I have selected all of these objects and basically created a group out of them. But before you do that, you want to make sure that every one of these has a center point, in which case you see here where the manipulator is in the direct center. Then we want to also do the same thing for this, because more than likely once it groups it, it'll put it right in the center of the character at the bottom of the feet. So we'll hit our center pivot, or you can go into modify and hit center pivot there. I actually created a shortcut, which again I'll call the hotkeys out, hold shift control and then click it, and it'll create one on your shelf. The next thing we have to do is make sure that our normals are facing outward as opposed to inward, because a lot of times when you're creating a mesh from a CV or a EP curve, it tends to go in different directions. So what we'll do is we'll go up to our display, go down to polygons, and we can hit our control shift again to create a quick hit face normals, and it'll create a icon on your shelf that looks like this, face normals. And whenever you select your geometry, you can hit your face normals, and as you can see up close, some of these are facing inward, where you can see just a little dot, and some of these are facing, or all of them are facing inward, and these are actually coming from the other side, moving through the mesh. So if we want to reverse that, we select our geometry, go into normals, and just hit reverse, and that should fix it for us. All the rest of these should be pretty, they're based on primitives, so we don't have to worry about their normals not facing the right direction. This one, however, was. And we can turn on face normals, we can select our geometry and turn our face normals off. Now, once we've done that, we can select all of our geometry and move into ZBrush for sculpting. I've created an icon on my shelf for that particular button. Makes it easier. This is the Go plugin that you will see now. Oh. Now it tries to tell you to select each one of them, or continue for each one of them, so you're going to have, I think, 7 pieces of geometry here. Now the reason why I put these all in one group before we move on is because this is a fairly simple character. We cannot put every one of these UVs on one UV set, so it should work out for us. When there's a much more detailed model, you probably want to have more than just what we have here in groups. So we'll hit continue for each one of these pieces of geometry, and eventually it'll take us directly over to ZBrush, which is really cool, very fast, as opposed to some of the older methods, which involve saving out your mesh as an object file. And we can drag, once we've hit the light box and turn that off, we can drag in the work window, hit T as your hotkey, hold down the Alt, and bring your character into place. And we can actually hit frame here in the UE of ZBrush, and we now have our model. Very simple. If you notice, our pivot is near the feet, and you can adjust this going over some tutorials. Right now we're just focusing on the importation of, or the utilization of GoZ and its ability to transport mesh from ZBrush to Maya. Now you will employ kind of a back and forth between Maya to make sure that everything is set up the right way. For instance, if we didn't change the normals, we can always go back into Maya. Now sometimes this creates a lot of problems, that if you didn't install GoZ the correct way, it may send it in kind of an awkward fashion into ZBrush. But at this point, you're basically working on your subtools, which are all listed here. And we can actually do, well, this is our example, man, our first one. But these are all of our subtools that we're going to be subdividing and pulling a high-res mesh from. And we'll create the sculpting process in the next video.